My name is Sarah. I teach general paper at Victoria Junior College. The one word that describes me as a GP teacher would be the word connection. Before students can even attempt to craft compelling arguments that are expressed with maturity and clarity, they first need to emotionally feel for the issues we discuss and analyze in GP. The word connection reflects me as a GP teacher as I try to harness the power of emotions to get students to consider various issues with empathy. Students are encouraged to engage with their friends too and bounce ideas off of each other, and these things prompt students to be more emotionally invested in our discussions and thought experiments, to realize that we're not simply preparing for an examination, but we're preparing for life. I incorporate this word into my teaching by selecting genuine case studies and stories. I hope to expose students to the lived experiences of different people across different contexts, to realize that we're unpacking ideas that are not just cold and academic, but in fact, these are very real issues with very real people involved and real consequences that we need to consider. I also hope to empower students by giving them the freedom and agency to develop their personal voice on various social and global issues. I incorporate this word into my teaching by selecting genuine case studies and stories. I hope to expose students to the lived experiences of different people across different contexts, to realize that we're unpacking ideas that are not just cold and academic, but in fact, these are very real issues with very real people involved and real consequences that we need to consider. I also hope to empower students by giving them the freedom and agency to develop their personal voice on various social and global issues. Through dialogic teaching, where lessons are often a dialogue between students and even between them and myself, I hope to challenge students to not only have the courage to articulate their opinions, but to also refine their opinions in an iterative process when they receive new information or consider an issue from another perspective. On that note, my students also love to joke that my favorite word is nuance, where I repeatedly urge them to consider if the view they're espousing is 100% true for everyone at all times across all contexts and circumstances. This refrain invites very rich dialogue in class. When students become more intellectually open-minded, they are able to transcend the tendency to think in black and white, appreciate the grey areas, and view these issues with their hearts and not just their minds. Teaching general paper is worthwhile and so energizing because my primary objective is to help students make sense of the world with a sense of criticality and curiosity. It's been so rewarding to be part of this process where I can challenge students to analyze issues in new, interesting ways and watch them develop mature ways of processing information. Also, as the study of GP is essentially the study of life and the world around us, as the world changes and evolves, I'm kept on my toes where I'm also constantly learning, doing more research, and refining my lessons and activities as the years go by. That's the reason why I've never been bored teaching the subject. The content is always changing, and the perspectives that students share are also unique. I'm incredibly grateful to win this award because I was nominated by my students and supported by my school. So I see this as such precious affirmation that will spur me on to become a more effective teacher as time passes. This is also a powerful reminder for me to never lose sight of my fundamental purpose in this profession, which is to nurture thinking and empathetic students who can appreciate the power of language, emotions, and perspectives to make sense of the world and navigate all that life has in store for them. Ultimately, I fervently believe in the subject. I hope that my students can feel my genuine sense of excitement for the subject too, which will hopefully prompt them to find out more and think more deeply.